Hey everyone, Nat Daddy here with another review. We're going to take a look at one of Jack Kirby's legendary creations, Kamandi, the Last Boy on Earth. Like I said, featuring Jack Kirby, Mike Rover, and D. Bruce Berry's work. This is volume 1. There is a second one for this that collects the rest of this series. This has issues 1 through 20. Like I said, this is some of Jack Kirby's greatest classic creations. I love the artwork in here, and I also really love the storytelling. So this is a world populated by beasts. After shaking the very foundations of DC Universe in the 70s with his classic fourth word titles, comic book titan Jack Kirby redirected his unstoppable artistic energy into all new series that would prove to be one of the most enduring creations, the post-apocalyptic world of Kamandi, the Last Boy on Earth. So this one kind of has that Planet of the Apes kind of feel to it, especially at the beginning here. There's a great disaster that has struck our world, leaving behind horrific mutated creatures and a tortured Earth. Kamandi is one of the few human survivors of the tragedy, forced to search for a haven in the twisted lands after the death of his elderly grandfather. So yeah, he starts off, his grandfather dies, and now he's starting to explore the rest of the world here. And as he leaves his place there, he starts encountering all the kind of weird beasts in that. Most other surviving humans are more like beasts, again like Planet of the Apes. They're more animal-like than human. They can't speak in that. Barely able to communicate and acting with very limited logical thinking. Along his journey, he'll encounter a variety of monsters, dangers, and an assortment of strange allies. Very quickly, he befriends mutants and even an anthropomorphic canine scientist, Dr. Catamus. The group must try to escape a post-apocalyptic city, but they soon discover there are obstacles every return. Yeah, this is a great book here. They don't really say what the Great Disaster is, but during this time period in the 70s and that, you would assume it would be just like a Planet of the Apes. It would be something nuclear war related. So, classic cover. I really love this cover. Yeah, just one of the greatest things ever, actually. This is him. He's rowing himself through water. A lot of it obviously looks like New York in there is covered by water, so maybe the polar caps have all melted in that. Again, this gives you that feeling of Planet of the Apes towards the end there when the Statue of Liberty is on the beach. So he's sailing, he encounters some other humans, but again, they're kind of more like Neanderthals type. And then he starts coming across some of these beasts and that. A lot of them are gorillas. He has a lot of encounters with these leopard people. And they're chasing him, and of course they don't realize that he's a special person because he can talk and all that. So he ends up having all these kinds of adventures. These are rat people. And again, the story is great, but again, this is classic Kirby art. I will always love this art. It's one of my favorite art ever. All these giant double page splashes. So simple, but so amazing at the same time. So he travels strange lands, freeing humans, forming friendships with some of these creatures who become allies, and a lot of them still aren't in that. Going through one forbidden city to another, encountering all different types of people. Some are people, some are beasts, some are futuristic like robots in that. This is a great and inexpensive way to experience this, because again, this is one of those compendium kind of size ones from DC. So again, about a few hundred pages, a lot easier to handle. I'm very surprised this property hasn't been tied into some kind of movie or streaming service, and that maybe one day it will be, but again, you can kind of see all the old stuff being reused in the post-apocalyptic world there. If anyone here is a fan of Jack Kirby stuff, or is a fan of post-apocalyptic stuff, or kind of Planet of the Apes, where the tables have been turned and all the beasts are at the top of the world chain and men are at the bottom. This is definitely up your alley. Again, great artwork, so simple, a classic. Everyone should read this at some point. It has a lot of tropes that you probably recognize, and a lot of those tropes were fairly new at the time when this came out. So definitely gets my recommendation. Blends the most perfect parts of fantasy and sci-fi and movie telling and classic comic art. Get this if you can. Definitely a recommendation. Kamandi, the Last Boy on Earth from Jack Kirby, and this is volume 1.